Assalamu alaikum to everybody who is attending this session, and welcome to the Proposal Development Workshop for AI in Digital Payments. We are joined by Hassan, Shakeel.
Hi, everyone.
And Sanee, Zahra. We look after the Innovation and Enablement Department, and this particular call for application falls under our wing. So we shall start now. Please note that this session is being recorded and will be uploaded onto the website. So in case due to any technical issue or internet issue, you are unable to attend it or unable to see it, this will be available on our website and will be emailed to you guys also. Okay, a little background about the agenda that we have in place today, a little introduction about us, and then an overview for the call for application, in which we are going to explain the thematic areas and what we are looking for, the critical and key dates that you need to follow. Then Hassan is going to tell you the submission guidelines, what your proposal should include, what are the critical elements you need to cover, and also lastly, we're going to showcase the evaluation criteria. Okay. A little background about Karandaaz. Karandaaz Pakistan is an impact-driven organization that works to promote financial inclusion and economic growth throughout the country. Our vision is that we believe in investing for shared prosperity that leads to an enhanced capability within this sector, which helps bring in innovation, investment, and strategic partnerships that can help improve the entire ecosystem of Pakistan. Okay, now talking about this particular call for application. As the name suggests that we are working towards catalyzing innovation in Pakistan, in which we can utilize AI and build more improvements and efficiency throughout the value chain. We have seen that locally and globally, AI is being adopted in the payments ecosystem, in which it can either be leveraged to improve normal customer onboarding efficiencies or prevent any sorts of fraud and detection. So keeping in mind that, it is time that in Pakistan, we also need to address some of the key solutions which can easily be addressed using and leveraging this technology. So we are looking for solutions that are going to enable and improve the Pakistan's digital payment ecosystem for front-end user or back-end operation. So anywhere throughout the value chain, your solution can be seen over there. So keeping in mind all of the background that we have stated, there are four main thematic areas upon which you can build your solution. Number one is efficient onboarding. Onboarding does not only limit to the front-end users, it also includes any other ecosystem players. This can be merchants, this can be agents, this can be any other particular entity that belongs to that entire value chain. So what we're looking for is any solution, anything that you bring on to this platform is going to help reduce the overall inefficiencies in the system. And its impact needs to be directly correlated with the time or any other impact-driven outcomes that are to be targeted through your solution. Please bear in mind, at the center of it, AI needs to be part of your core solution. Okay, just a heads up, guys, you can easily send your questions in the comment and chat. And what we can do is at the end of the session, we're going to address them. So feel free to add any questions and comments that you have. Over to the next thematic area, that is risk and fraud management. So in Pakistan, we have seen that the frauds have started to increase and users have become more prone to accepting those unknown anomaly-based links, and they are fallen into the trap of this. So AI can help prevent this kind of fraud and detection. And it can also help in reconciliation and automation of any other dispute resolutions that exist out there. Again, your system or your product needs to be centered with the use of AI in this particular thematic area also. The third thematic area we have is based on savings and credit enablement. That talks about how you can expand the use of credit, access, and savings product throughout the entire consumer user base. This can be done through the use of bill aggregation insights, credit profiling, product recommendation. Your engine needs to be again hosted at the center of AI being utilized and leveraged for it. Lastly, the theme we have is the customer behavior and experience. This talks about the personalization and the autonomous payments that can be introduced in the system to improve multiple use case behavior or multiple use case initiative throughout the entire customer use case. Now we talk about who can apply. So we are looking for entities that are either licensed in the form of banks, EMI, PSP, PSO, and NBFIs. Other than that, technology companies can also share their proposals in this. And in this, infrastructure provider, which within the partnership of financial institutes, can also participate and give the solutions. Please bear in mind that your solution, even if you belong to a technology or an infrastructure provider, it needs to have a partnership from an payment industry player in place so that the implementation can be verified and the impact can be monitored. Some of the critical dates that you need to keep in mind is that the application period started on 1st of October and the closing period is 25th of October. So you need to submit your proposal by 25th of October 2025. Okay, handing this over to Hassan now.
Thank you, Sanee. Okay, so there are certain proposal submission guidelines that I wanted to walk through. So now we have the proposal template, and you can see that there are multiple pointers in which we want in the form of a slide deck consisting of 8 to 12 slides in which you can cover all these points. But you need to bear one thing in mind that these pointers you have the choice to not remain limited to these pointers, but these pointers are mandatory, so they need to be covered. And if you want to add few more information, then you can obviously add those as well. So if you look at the project design and product scope, what we want here is basically how the solution is going to be uh, is being provided. Firstly, there needs to be an identification of the problem. What problems are being solved here, and how is it being solved? So that needs to be covered here. Um, so it can be in the form of a framework that you can provide. It can be a pictorial form that you can showcase here, in which you can show how the product is basically solving the problem at hand and how relevant the problem is. Secondly, we have innovation market fit, in which we basically want to see how the solution or the proposed solution stands out in front of the other existing competitors and the solution that they are providing, and how basically relevant it is to the problem at hand. Thirdly, is the target segment. Uh, as Sanee has already talked about the thematic areas. So the target segment that you have chosen, how is that segment being catered to with respect to those thematic areas? So that needs to be showcased here. Then we have the risk and challenges and mitigation. So we understand that there are obviously with any project there are going to be some risks, there are going to be some challenges. In case of AI, the issue is more profound. Just to give an example, if we talk about autonomous payments, in autonomous payments we have the user basically allows the platform to make the payment on their behalf. So to have that level of trust, and they would need to give authority and their data as well. So how that data is being utilized, how that authority is being utilized by that solution provider. So that's a big responsibility. So how that responsibility is being catered to, and what challenges and risks can they potentially face, and how do you realistically plan to solve those situations? So that plan needs to be mentioned here. Then we have the growth strategy and partnerships. So there could be a case where you would be collaborating with maybe more teams. How do you plan to go about it, and how do you basically pilot to scale in this scenario? So what should be the growth strategy? Then we have the team details. Here we would like to know, you can talk about the company profile. You can also talk about the teams, or what skill sets will they be bringing, what kind of teams will be involved in this project. So it could be project managers, it could be from the tech side. So whatever that is, you need to mention those. Then we have the project timeline and tentative deliverables and milestones. Uh, so this is going to be a project in which you will be providing the timelines in which you think your solution would be taking the relevant time, and how much duration it will need to be completed from the project setup to the project completion and closure. And what deliverables would you be giving throughout the process of this project, and what milestones you would be achieving. So that needs to be provided. Uh, Similarly, there will be grant value that you would be quoting based on the project that you will be providing, and the kind of request or help you would be needing from Karandaaz in the form of grant. So you would be quoting that, and also you would be have a very detailed plan as to how that grant uh, would be utilized, and where each part of the grant would be uh, being catered to. So it could be in the form of a tabular as well, in which you would be detailing all the information. Apart from that, um, anything that is not covered in the above pointers, you can obviously share in the additional information tab. And that could include something that is related to any tech dependencies that you would be requiring, or any sustainability plan. So anything along those lines, or anything above and beyond that, you can mention it here. Apart from this, it is mentioned here that a brief write-up covering above points or beyond that can be provided as a supporting document, in which you would be basically talking about what your solution is, how is it relevant, and how basically it helps in achieving Karandaaz its objectives as well. So moving on to the eligibility criteria. Uh, Now that we have talked about the guidelines, the criteria, the simple criteria is that it needs to be clearly identified, the need that you and the problem that you are quoting, and how what practical steps you would be taking to ensure to overcome those issues. Uh, it has to be related to digital payment space, and the solution that you would be providing should be through digital through artificial intelligence. So you should clearly identify how the problem is being catered to, what are the identified segments that you have chosen, and how do you plan to give the solution via the proposal application. Secondly, one of the criteria is that the proposal participant needs to be registered in the it could be registered by SECP, it could be registered under State Bank, and it should be incorporated and actively working as a business in Pakistan. Um, Also, it should also work with the comply with all the applicable regulatory requirements at the time of submission of proposal. So that is something that is, in the generic sense, we would want from the participants. Now, specific to this project, we would want that they need to have some sort of artificial intelligence or data science expertise. Now, what we mean by that is that they need to have ideally some sort of experience in deploying of the artificial intelligence or machine learning capabilities in their ongoing solutions, or in their ongoing business solutions. And uh, it should be focused around the financial use cases, which should be further supported by their robust data engineering capabilities, their capacity to deploy on a real-time basis or a near real-time basis, and its adherence to the responsible AI principles, which would cover the ethical notions of such projects application. If you talk about the technology integration, we need to see the experience in the implementation of uh, AI solutions in the existing payment rails or infrastructures. So ideally, you could be using APIs, you could be using a cloud system or infrastructure, or cybersecurity safeguards for interoperability and scalability. And we also would want that the incoming participant also has the where do they stand in that whole ecosystem, how they can add value, and a strong track record of partnership across financial institutions, fintechs, and payment processes would be ideal. So we talking more about the proposal submission guidelines. The You can submit the proposal uh, through our website page. The link is provided here, and you can also send via email to programofficedfs@karandaaz.com.pk. So you have both options. The subject line would be the proposal submission AI and digital payments. The evaluation criteria, in in order to summarize, it would be the 3 pointers that we have mentioned here. It's the grants that will be based on quality and feasibility, potential impact that you're creating, and the innovation and sustainability that you're bringing to the table. If we talk about the grant alignment and justification, we it is very important to ensure that your project scope and concept aligns with the requested grant amount, because uh, since whatever you would be quoting, what you would be asking us, it should make sense in the form that whatever you are asking has detailed program and plan as to how it will be disbursed, how it will be applied in different functionalities of your project. And similarly, your your scope should also support that as well. The amounts, as you can know, it would be quoted in PKR for the standardization purposes and for clarity that the grant is going to be in PKR. And lastly, all the plan, the grant utilization should have a direct connection between objectives, activities, and funding. So that is it from our side. If you guys have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask. This is the link for the website page, in which if you want to apply through the website, so you can do that. Or if you have any queries, you can also reach out to us at programofficedfs@karandaaz.com.pk. Or if you want to submit the proposal through email, so you can do that as well at the same email address. Thank you.
Hassan, we have received a few questions in the chat, and let's go one by one. We have one question from Neerumer, which is asking about if in academia industry in collaboration with the AI can be sent as a proposal. So, Neerumer, you can send a proposal if it is fitting with one of the main thematic areas that we have, and it is centered around the payment sector and the industry. If your solution, no matter which sector it is targeting, if it is aligned with these two things, you can definitely share your proposal across the board with us. Then we have another question from Naveed Maiman. Can we partner in this project for payment integration and technology? Sure, Naveed, you can definitely go ahead with the partnership of any nature that you want to, which will help you implement whatever solution you're bringing forward. Please, it needs to be aligned with the main thematic areas, and at the center of it, AI needs to be the main hero of the project. Okay, we go to the next question. Okay, so the next question is, what's the total budget of this project? So in this regard, we do not have a specific number to which you can go up to, but we have a threshold. For example, we have highlighted that the grant is probably going to be
more than 15 million rupees, Pakistani rupees. And so you can plan accordingly what your proposed solution is going to be in terms of amount. And the main thing is you can quote 50 million, 60 million, or any amount, as long as the important thing is that it needs to be justified in terms of its grant utilization, and it needs to be also very relevant to the scope and the impact objectives that we have.
Yeah. We have another question. Any organization shared proposal which are going to apply? Okay, so we don't have anything in particular, but the format as already shared in this particular slides can be followed. And that is how you're going to submit your proposal to us. Then we have another question again, the upper cap of the grant, again, as stated by Hassan. Anything that you're going to submit needs to be backed up with the proper working so that once it's under evaluation, it will be brought up as a question and the team is going to refer to the cost heads that you have included in it. Okay, then we have another question.
Yeah, it seems that there are financial institution which is registered at provincial level and performs. Shall they be eligible for registration process? Uh, so I think if you're talking about SCCP registration, so I think that is covered. That is not an issue. But if there is any something in particular that you're talking about, any provincial body, so what you can do is you can reach out to us at program office dfs@karandaaz.com.pk, and we can relate to your query and answer it.
Yeah, works. Okay, then we have another question from Naveed. We are Satco Microfinance Company providing financial services. Should we use AI in credit scoring for onboarding and approval, including chatbots for quick customer support? Naveed, this is totally up to you how you want to design the solution and which particular thematic area you want to put it in. And this is totally your choice as a company. Okay. Okay, we have a very good question from Hassan. Any specific state bank's regulation that we need to comply with reference being a technology firm? So as we stated, even if you are a technology firm, you can apply for this program, but you need to be in partnership with one of the FIs, that is financial institute, because this core thematic area is surrounded by the payment sector, the industry in which we are going to test this product or we are going to pilot it. So you need to form a partnership of any sort with one of the financial institutes in which this can be embedded and further on tested.
Okay. So next question is, will grant amount provided on milestone basis? So in this case, what we do is basically we once we work on the project, we shortlist a proposal and the partners. We work with them in creating of the uh, finalization of milestones, and then the when it comes to disbursement of grant, so then that is yes done on the milestone basis.
Yeah. Okay, we have another question that says, what timelines are there for implementation? Okay, this again totally depends upon the nature of your product and project that you're bringing forward to us. Whatever timelines you're proposing needs again to be backward. So once the proposal is under review and if the teams reach out to you for further details, you have your plan in the backup and can be shared forward with us.
Okay, then we have a question from Ahmed. Can we have a soft copy of these slides? Sure, we will be sharing the slides with everyone. Um,
If you have already subscribed to the emailer, yes, you will receive them. And if not, please reach out to us at program office dfs@karandaaz.com.pk and we're going to send them back to you. Okay, we have a few more questions.
we have a question. If we are taking grant from Karandaaz for a different project, can we still apply for this as well in parallel? Uh,
So for this, depends upon the program that in which you have applied already and in which you have already received a project or a grant. Based on its nature, only then it can be determined if you can take grant from this particular project also. So you can reach out to us again if you want to seek more clarity, and we can definitely reach out to you in response. Okay, we have another question that is asking if we can give an indicative or hypothetical budget amount. Okay, so Hassan, you can answer this one.
Okay. Uh, so well, you can give a quota budget and a hypothetical amount, but anything that can be justified through a detailed mention of what activities are going to be carried out throughout the project, and how that those activities are aligned with the overall achievement of not only the project itself, but the objectives and goals of the organization of the participant, as well as Karandaaz ultimately and its impact objectives. So how those are being filled out, that is more important. So a budget amount can be given, and later on we that can also be uh, discussed with us, because in collaboration we would be working once a project is chosen or uh, shortlisted.
Okay. Okay, we have another question that is asking what data do we need to share with Karandaaz once we qualify for the grant? Okay, so once you qualify for the grant, the data that needs to be shared is mutually agreed upon between both the parties. It is usually related to the direct impact your project is going to create. For example, if you're bringing a project in the thematic area of onboarding, so all the onboarding improvements and efficiencies you are bringing, be it from the time of onboarding, or improving the quality of the data collection or any other sort. We are going to mutually agree upon the data that is required as a collection between both the parties.
Okay. Then we have the question, is it compulsory to go into partnership with a payment related party, and does a bank qualify? So a bank does qualify. That is not going to be an issue. As far as the partnership is concerned, a partnership does not need to be compulsory. If you think that your solution qualifies for the kind of uh, objective that we are working on, and the solution or thematic areas that we are focusing on, and if your proposed solution targets that, so I think there might not be not necessary to have the partnership. But if you think that in order to meet the objectives and in order to target our thematic areas, you would be requiring a partnership. So then you would need to do what is necessary. So it's up to you.
It needs then one thing that needs to be there is how the implementation of that entire project works out between the two parties also.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question that is asking us about the expected timelines for the implementation of the proposed solution and how it's going to affect the overall cost estimates. Okay, so again, it totally depends upon the nature of your solution and the complexities that you are going to apply. So if your solution is really complex, then obviously it can go up to 1.5 years to 2 years. But if it is a solution that has already been developed and needs some improvements, adoption, implementation, then the timelines can be squeezed even further. So again, as per the nature of your product and the solution you're bringing forward, the timelines are directly subject to that. Okay, we are going through more questions.
Referring to supporting documentation proposal template slide, is there any template content length limitations? So we have asked for two types of deliverables. One is going to be slide deck consisting of 8 to 12 slide, in which we have mentioned the pointers uh, that needs to be covered. And if there is something else that you also want to cover, you can obviously add those. We have also asked for a brief write-up, so that could be in the form of PDF, in which you would be mentioning summary of your project, how it is aligned with our objectives, and you can also include information on something that has not been covered in the slide deck. So that can be mentioned there. So, but majorly, the limitation is going to be that ideally we would want the slide deck to be restricted to 12 slides in which you should be covering all those pointers.
Okay, we have another question that is regarding if a financial institute, if you don't have a financial institute and or is not registered with State Bank of Pakistan, do we disqualify you by default? Okay, so again, as we have already stated that we are looking for solutions in this one particular thematic area, which is AI in payments. So financial sector needs to be involved in it for the implementation point of view. So if you don't have a partnership or if you're not a financial institute yourself, yes, that you will not make it beyond the evaluation criteria because that is a must have for this challenge round.
Can a solution have overlap on the multiple thematic areas? Would that be more beneficial, or it's more suitable to choose one single thematic area? So the thematic areas that we have identified, if you're covering more than one of those thematic areas, so that is not going to be an issue. It's completely fine. So if it's more beneficial, it all depends on the product or solution that you would be offering.
So, okay, so if you guys have more questions, please share them. As right now we have gone through all of the questions, and if we have not responded to anyone, maybe they are the ones that were overlapped or something that, yeah, these are mostly the ones that we have already discussed. So supporting documents, templates. Okay, when will we respond to the applications? Within 5 to 8 weeks time period, the teams who make it through the first round will be reached out. And the ones who do not make it, there will also be shared a message across that time period also. Okay, guys, feel free to add more questions if you have any. Please note that this entire webinar will be recorded and uploaded onto our website, and this deck will be emailed to all the participants who have registered through our emailer. Okay, we have one more question. If a product is built, and can we allocate the grant towards the international certification and improvement of the product? That again, for that depends upon the products if and what implementation you are going to achieve through this grant. And with the certifications, that is something that can only be discussed once we know what those certifications are. But if you talk about the improvement of the product and the adoption, that is something that can definitely be looked upon, but it needs to be centered around the thematic areas that have been defined. So if it does not fall in that, then it will not make it beyond the first evaluation cut. I think this is about it. We have stopped receiving new questions. Guys, feel free to reach out to us through this program officedfs@karandaaz.com.pk, and I will bring back the timelines again. 25th October 2025 is the application closing period. You need to send your proposal before or by 25th. If your proposal is sent after this, then you might not be considered in the first round of evaluations. So please be very mindful that 25th October 2025 is when you have to submit your proposal, and your proposal needs to have all of these elements included in it. It is critical to include all of these headers and cover whatever has been shared. I think we have one last question that we have received. Can a company apply for multiple proposals if they have? Sure, you can. As many thematic areas and products that you want to send, you have you have the liberty to do that. Just make sure that your each proposal follows the template and is according to one of the thematic areas that we have stated. One more question we have received is, what are the documentation needed for partnership with a financial institute? Okay, so for this, first mutual understanding between you and the financial institute at this stage is what we need. If you have any institute that has agreed upon being in partnership with you for the implementation phase, is what we request. It can be in the form of an MOU or it can be in the form of any other written consent from that party. If that is available, this is enough for the first evaluation criteria. Okay, thank you so much. And please feel free to send any more queries or questions that you have through the email ID. You can reach us out over there. And again, this entire session is recorded and will be uploaded onto the website. Feel free to review it, reshare it, or however you want to use it in the development of your proposal. Thank you so much from my side and Hassan's side.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.